These days, many marriages break up as fast as they are contracted, leaving those affected in emotional and financial disarray. The life journey of a couple should be in good and bad times. There, however, seems to be a missing link. In order to foster a perfect relationship and help couples overcome the challenges they go through in their marriages, a book, University of Marriage, written by Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, the founder of the Rose of Sharon Foundation, was launched in Lagos recently. In her remarks at the occasion, which is to mark her 60th birthday, the author of the book, Chief Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, said she was motivated to write it in order to put at the disposal of young couples and even older ones her 35 years experience in the sacred institution of marriage.
That is the time when we should really stick together. That's the most important time when we should come together, to be there for one another, to uplift and uphold one another. And that is why he has called on me, and I'm sure he has called on many other people all over the world to begin to write about marriage.
A mini documentary on the Rose of Sharon Orphanage Home, a non-governmental organization owned by Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, which showcased how the home is helping young widows and others with skill acquisition programs, was aired at the occasion. The reviewer of the book, and also a renowned marriage counselor, Mrs. Rosemary Odua, took an incisive look at the salient points in the book and how it can help change challenging times in marriage.
The prologue, the writer is trying to convey that marriage is a lifelong journey of a couple for the betterment of mankind.
The book was later unveiled by the author, her husband, children, and some clergymen.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Venerable Olusegun Ladende spoke from the spiritual perspective, highlighting some important aspects of the book that will lead to success in marriage.
Where there is a matriculation, but there is no convocation. The convocation only comes, as the Bible suggests, when death has done you part.
The event ended with a session of praise and worship, featuring renowned fashion designer Fumi Ajila Ladiko and a gospel group.
You will have seen that maybe I wrote the foreword to the book. It's a book that one needs to pass on, not only for those who are married, but also those who are newly married and those who are about to marry.
I've known Mrs. Alakija for quite some time. When she launched her Widows Foundation about 2 years ago, I was there, and I'm very pleased that she's kept up with the trend of things. I wish her well today.
35 years of blissful marriage, which is crowned with grown-up children who are adding a lot of value to the family name in their different callings in life, coupled with the successful entry of the matriarch of the family, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, to the diamond age of 60, and lovely grandchildren to the bargain. That's the exciting and inspiring story of the Alakijas, for which no expense was spared to celebrate the unbelievable favors and blessings of God towards the family. The belief and absolute trust in God must have propelled her from strength to strength over the years. This was the submission of the Most Reverend Dr. Adebola Ademowo, OON, Dean of the Church of Nigeria and Bishop of the Ecclesiastical Province of Lagos, who preached at the church service, which took place at the Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, Lagos. The man of God eulogized the celebrant's life of giving to the less privileged who are very close to her heart. Reverend Ademowo congratulated her husband, Chief Modupe Alakija, for being a pillar of strength of the family in the last 35 years of their marriage. The man of God prayed for more successes for the family in the years ahead. The Thanksgiving session featured a convivial atmosphere in the church as friends, relations, and loved ones of the Alakijas joined them in hearty dancing and singing, with the choir providing the song. The entire Alakija family was specially prayed for by the man of God before the service ended. The church service ended as the choir rendered more songs of praise to God as the congregation dispersed, and Biscuitball TV's ace cameraman, Olumide Olusoga, captured some exciting scenes for your delight. The Convention Center of Eco Hotel and Suites, venue of the reception for the multiple celebration of the Alakijas, has never looked as enchanting and appealing as it did on this glorious day. The Alakijas indeed painted the venue red, beginning from the entrance into the venue, which was draped in all shades and designs of the color red. For the Alakijas, it was a perfect combination between image and style that makes the brand. It certainly must take someone who knows her onions in the fashion business to have thought out the beautiful concept. Of course, as former president of the Fashion Designers Association of Nigeria, FADN, and owner of now rested Supreme Stitches, which made dresses for the high and mighty at the time, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija is indeed a big force to reckon with in the fashion and style business. Guests at the event, men and women, also rose to the occasion by appearing in their very best and most stylish red colors. Whether in Western or native attires, the venue was a sea of red colors. The Lagos society rose to stoutly celebrate the Alakijas in a big way, as society A-listers in every sphere showed up enthusiastically. The Sugar Band, showcasing brand new equipment, which gave a lot of stereophonic effect to the presentation, set the scene in terms of the profusion of entertainment that enveloped the entire arena. If there is anything very dear to the heart of Mrs. Alakija, it is soul-lifting songs, and there was an abundance of that on parade, with the presentation by members of her church. Reverend Adebola Ademowo led the array of guests who spoke at the event. There were also testimonies from different people whose lives Mrs. Alakija had touched through her philanthropic deeds. There was the particular case of a woman whose children had been enjoying scholarship support in their education over the years.
All this burden, the Rose of Sharon are assisting me paying my school children. Please, let's fill the form so that they can assist you over this, your late sister's children. I say, oh good. Actually, I did not believe until I put in the form, obtain the form, and do the processing. At the end of the day, I was so glad because they offer us scholarship. They gave 4 of them scholarship.
Another highlight of the Alakija multiple celebration was the cutting of the cake, which featured the entire household supported by several dignitaries. One item that elicited enthusiastic mass participation by a number of the guests was the launching of the Rose of Sharon Foundation for the less privileged in the society. This received massive support from the public. Mrs. Wemi Smith, a close friend of Mrs. Alakija, gave a very touching testimony of the very caring side of Mrs. Alakija with an incident that dates back many years ago.
What's wrong with your knee? I said, not my knee, but my knees. And I explained to her, and she just said, come, let us pray. And she laid her hands on my knees. And thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, it has ceased.
In their separate remarks, Mr. Modupe Alakija and his wife, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, were full of gratitude to Nigerians and their friends from across the Atlantic who honored all the events lined up for their multiple celebration with their presence. They promised to continue to be good to all that came across their path in life, as God has been very good to them in all aspects of life. From then on, the Sugar Band unleashed a deluge of masterstrokes, spanning music from the contemporary and old school genres, and the entire arena came alive, with people dancing and those sitting down actively singing along. Standing out distinctly here is Mrs. Alakija, who looked every inch like the youngest 60-year-old around, with a happy story to tell of her 35 years experience in the Sacred Marriage Institution.
I know that there was a time that my husband would pick up his manicure bag and he would say he was going to the salon. Put down your bag, where are you going? I can do it. So I've been doing his pedicure for a donkey years. He tells me that I do it a lot better than the way they do it in the salon.
Nigerians indeed love dancing with a great passion, and this they do not hesitate to show off anytime the occasion presents itself. It does not matter their position in life. A cursory look at all those who really got down to really dancing at the Alakija groundbreaking party are captains of industry and leading lights in the corporate world, titans of the business world, media and advertising gurus, as well as those in the traditional institutions. The exciting growth being witnessed in the showbiz and entertainment sectors, especially in the way events are packaged these days, should be a thing of pride to us all, and a bold statement that Nigerians are set to rub shoulders with the very best in any part of the world in such matters. The busy Olatilo show's 24-hour news, sports, business, politics and lifestyle channel on High TV, now broadcasting live on the internet at www.biscanworldtv.com. Biscan World TV is seen worldwide on the internet in over 40 countries in Europe, USA, Asia, the Caribbean, and Africa. In 1 month, over 3,000 subscribers have visited Biscan World's site, and the site keeps appreciating in rankings by the second. Advertisers who are interested in creating a global brand with their products and services should tap into this all-inclusive global advertising window. We congratulate the Alakijas on the successful outcome of their multiple celebrations.